What's the worst investment you've ever made?
Gosh, what's the worst investment I ever made? I mean, what's the worst investment I ever made? I don't know, man. Shit. I'll think if I'd more say that the worst investment was not investing, not putting money in an investment. I think even if investments fail, it's just like anything else in life. You learn and have to start and move forward.
Yeah.
And worst thing that happens to anybody, most people stay poor because they're too scared to make one singular investment. I've made bad investments before. Don't get me wrong on stuff, but most of the things that have come through, even some real estate stuff I'm dealing with now, I'm not going to bankrupt or have a problem with it.
And you made money for 2 or 3 years off
I've
of
made
it.
money, and the lifestyle and experiences it's a lot.
Yeah.
I've lived on an island for 4 years of my life that people dream about. I know somebody that has worked somewhere and for 30 years. It's kind of like a blue collar job, and they would never listen to this, but it's someone we know of, and as their reward is, I think, 5 days in a state that we lived in for 4 years. So after 30 years of employment, that's the reward for that. So
Yeah.
no, I liked the investments of matching dreams to, matching investments to dreams and identity at the same time. So there was a concept that I was going after for a while, which was anchor to your dreams.
Yeah.
But I think that dreams get off track pretty simplistically, like pretty easily, like a little 10% off, and years later down the road, you're 90 degrees off track. And so for me, the investing is imperative. Mainly it was lack of investing for the first part of my life. You hoard money, stick on top of it, don't put it in little things. In the meantime, stocks you thought about, that we all thought about, or sell for 2,000% more than they did.
Yeah.
When you thought about them. I remember thinking about a stock, and I don't know why I have this memory. I was in a drive-through, like at a Jack in the Box or something, getting some food. I'm like, I really should invest in Amazon. And it was like a very long time ago. I had this
When Amazon was still just books.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us have those memories. But yeah, this was a long time ago. Yeah, when they were still books.
Yeah.
I had a memory. I was living in Dallas over by Lover's Lane, and it was anyway. Yeah, it was a memory I had, and I think we all think about those things. I think mainly just need to invest. I think that I'd say speculative stuff, crypto and things like that, even though it looks great and you feel like you're missing out, I don't feel like most people miss out. I don't. If you look at people that are really intelligent, that are rich, that invest in that, I like Mr. Wonderful. He'll say that he'll put no more than 5%, 10% on something. That's if he got risky. He'd get over 5.
Yeah.
So they've got money in it, but they don't go foolhardy. So but if you're going to invest, it's hard to mess up real estate. I'll say no real estate in a highly socialist state for me. Not to get political, it's just like if they don't respect property rights, be careful.
Well, yeah, obviously, because as you're going through.
Yeah, let the state vote whatever they want, I guess, from that standpoint. I agree with it or not, but if they don't respect the property rights, if there's public sentiment against something, then be careful. Otherwise, real estate's good, standard stock stuff is good. I don't hate on standard stock stuff. They're like, there's a lot of people spewing that 401ks are horrible. And yeah, they do take that money, and that is where the large hedge funds and private equity firms that are taking over the world, they use that money, and you don't even know that they're using it.
You hand it over, and you're just supposed to trust they're going to use it appropriately.
Yeah, they are using your money. Having said that, besides that factor, outside of that, to invest in stocks in general and betting on America and our currency and that things will continue to increase, I don't think it's dumb. I think people call it dumb because on social media they want you to spend money for their, you could go buy a single family home or a 1 to 4 family home on your own, but if you want to get into multi-level, that's really tough for you. So if you'll just give your money to our real estate investment fund and to our REIT, then, or whatever it is, then we'll tie your money up and we'll let you have some of the real estate benefits of tax deductions. But I don't believe in that stuff either. If I'm going to invest my money, it's my money.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it
You're
to some.
you're gonna own that thing.
I own that thing. I'm not giving it to some social media influencer. He's not going to tell me when I can liquidate. It's already hard enough to liquidate a house, but at least I can liquidate it.
Yeah.
So I would encourage people to just in general not overthink it. Invest a little stock, a little real estate. Don't over leverage an asset, and just try to enjoy your life a little bit.
I'd like to actually turn the question around a little bit, because what I expected that you might say was the quick car, the Lubin tune,
Yeah,
because you were in it for a year and a half and you hated it, but it led to this.
my largest adversities have we're something's boiling up here. You can feel it coming.
Yeah.
We got something coming, but it comes from when I get pissed and when I get backed into a corner, when I have to fight. I mean, it's going to be fun. The next one, I'm going to try to leave no stone uncovered. But yes, I had gone out of closed a business.
Right.
So I had a very successful home security company in Dallas-Fort Worth that was known at the time. And still, I saw a yard sign the other day. I still see one every once in a while.
Really?
There's a bounty on them, though. So in the industry, you want to know, but in home security, if somebody buys an account, then they'll give those technicians like $5 a sign. We had all of ours. Like,
if they remove the old
if they remove the old signs, they're like, it's just paying to remove your competition. So you bought the book of business, like thousands of homes, which we would sell, and then they'd remove those signs all over town. Mine had a lion on it in blue, but we took every sign, and someone told me I just throw them away at one point. But when we were in business for 15 years, every time we got one, we stuck it on the wall, and it was our border around the top of the office, and it ran all the way around. Hundreds and hundreds of old alarm companies.
Yeah.
But that business changed drastically. I don't tell the whole story. It just changed, and we didn't bankrupt, but we closed.
Yeah.
And I did buy a Lubin tune thing that for $1.8 million on an SBA loan, and I thought I could run hard labor the same as an alarm installer, but I hated it. I mean, I hated it with a passion, and then that led to this business. I mean, I did. You may not believe it, but I did do web design on Dreamweaver.
Oh yeah, I know.
Stuff.
I've seen examples of it.
And I would copy.
I talked to Robert about it because he's still with us, and he was with you back then.
I actually knew some Java back in the day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I would look it up and made some code. I actually had a couple, and I made JavaScripting work on those sites so that we could dupe them out.
Very cool.
So that, and every night, I don't know if I told you this, but for months I went home and I had headaches every day because I was having to force myself to learn something so different that it was just probably literally, folding in some new brain cells in there.
Giving you new wrinkles.
Yeah, and it wasn't pleasant. I mean, I had headaches daily. I didn't want to do it. I forced myself to do it. You know what it smells like in that little top-notch office?
I wouldn't even, it was just gasoline and
you know what the lower
oil.
base smells like in the sludge?
Yeah.
And we have to come pump that out before it overflows into the water supply, in the city sewer. That when they flush engines and all that, drain oil, it's foul. It's foul. But it was a good business though, monetarily. We doubled our net profit through billable service hours.
Right.
Through marketing. So yeah, it was a horrible thing, but I still drive by there every once in a while, no joke, and thank Jesus and pray. I hadn't done it in a while, but I still go there and take a moment, and I'll park and stare at that place, and I'll thank Jesus.
Yeah. Because even that thing that you hated doing, it led to this. So yeah, I think the message is that even if you make an investment or a business move, that you don't enjoy the outcome, it can lead you. If you're open to opportunities and keep your eyes open, it can lead you to something.
If you're
much better,
a positive thinker or a religious man, I mean, it's a lot of people to argue this is part of the process, part of the path. I mean, I lived in Hawaii for 4 years after this happened. It was devastating on levels, and so we did, and the kids have had an interesting time from all of it. But my kids are very well diversified. I'm pretty, some stuff I look at the kids and like they didn't have the home because we moved to Hawaii back and forth a couple of times. man, they had some interesting experiences.
Yeah.
And the kids are extremely well-rounded. My children are, from everything that's happened. They've also had some adversity of their own account, just by moving around a little bit. But as they got to live with their dad and had me go through all this stuff, they got to see a lot. And that's part of investing in business. Like, should someone do stuff? Yes. Should you make a move? Yes. Should you invest in something, start a business, try something, fail, succeed? Absolutely. Like that thing I actually lost. I think you knew this. I think I lost I sold it for, I think, if I had to remember, $50,000 or $100,000 more than I paid for it.
Yeah, you made a slight profit on the sale.
No,
you did not.
There was a 7% commission. I was just under 3 years, so it was a 1% SBA loan penalty. I lost about $275,000.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. I thought you made just a little money on it.
No, it sold just a little bit over, but the closing costs were roughly 8 or 9%. And when that came through, I'll tell you. I think I've told you this story. I'll tell you a dumb story.
Okay.
I'm in there trying to get this thing sold, and I'm meeting the business broker, and I don't know jack about car repair. By the way, just an entrepreneur that saw a healthy cash-on-cash return. That's
Right.
all there was to it.
Yeah.
If you do something that's harder, you'll make more money.
Right.
So I said, I'll take that. And what I should have done is taken every dime, which I still had quite a bit left over, and just bought tons of real estate because of the time it was. But everybody was scared of real estate at the time. Yeah. It would have been brilliant. But hey, But I was in there, and a soon-to-be or a couple of ballers looked at it. We're in Dallas-Fort Worth, so we have some ball players around here.
Yeah.
And there was a baller in there, and he brought his wife and his child. You remember the story?
No, I haven't heard this.
I hadn't heard the story.
I haven't heard this
Well,
one.
I feel like
You have a lot of stories, and I've known you 10 years, but I know I haven't gotten them all.
I feel like I'm better socially than I used to be. But one thing about me is that I am aware of my positive and negative points. Socially, I do business-wise, I'll hammer it, man. I will grind and just until I bleed, but socially sometimes I meet somebody new or something, I'm a little too blunt. I don't filter enough. Anyway, the guy sitting there at me, it's after hours because we didn't want anybody's, the workers to see that we were up in there checking the place for sale. And the baller's there. I can't remember his name. A couple famous guys came through there that people would know looking at buying because they're just looking to not go broke after their career's done.
Right.
And this guy, I said, "Oh, that's a cute kid. Do you have any more?" And this guy that was selling it was this old curmudgeon character that kind of like an Eeyore guy.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, he looks over at me before that guy even says anything and looks at me and said, "Nolen," and he gave me this look like, "No, Nolen, just stop talking." And like, so this guy pans over at me, and this baller said, he looked over at me, and he's like, and then his woman looked over at me, and she's like, "Mm-hmm." And then he looked over and he said, "Well, I got a couple kids."
Oh,
yeah.
different women.
Yeah. After this guy's name was David, I won't say his last name. After it done, I was younger at the time, and this guy's 20 years older than me. Very methodical business broker. He's retired now. And I remember, but
He was a client for us at one point.
he was a
Until he
client
retired.
for a little bit. Yeah, he retired. But when we got out, he said, so "Nolen, if it's a baller or an ex-baller, they've always got extra children. So don't ask those questions, please, if this happens again."
Especially if the wife is there.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure that's not true. I'm not saying that's true, but that's what he told me.
Yeah.
And like, I'd never forget that story. But that guy didn't buy it. A couple ballers looked at it, and some of the guy that was not a ball player bought that thing. And when I sold it, we weren't making a dime, by the way. And I had put everything on the digital marketing agency. In fact, when you came around, we had just started cutting checks and a profit.
Yeah. I remember. You told me at the time.